Okay, fair warning, the following podcast may contain explicit language and offensive material, so you just calm yourself there, Skippy Doodle. We got this.
Welcome to the Pièce de Resistance bonus episode number 30 with Lisa Graham and Dale Leopold, and special guests music director Chris Mazzalesta and, eventually, artist Richard McMurray. We'll also be featuring outtakes from our most recent episode, The Songbook of Ruth. Due to technical difficulties during the recording process, we are using the audio track from our Zoom video recording, so the sound quality may not be up to our usual standards, but don't worry, you'll get used to it. We now join this episode, already in progress.
Hi. Am I sneaking up on you or something?
Sneaking up just like a Ukrainian...
Like a tiny little kitty cat.
Like a kitty cat.
Sorry, I'm punchy. I've been up since 3:30, and our plans have gone awry, and so that makes me just a little off kilter. But we have Mazzalesta with us. We have musical man Mazzalesta.
Well, hello.
See?
Hello. And we have Dale here.
You can do that in any octave.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's Dale. You know Dale.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
We were planning on something else. It didn't quite work out. Technical difficulties, and we'll get back to it at some point for sure.
Freaking interwebs.
Yeah,
I think it's the Fedskis. You're right, Chris.
Yeah. And I know that I know that we're setting up something special for the next bonus episode too, which involves a Valentine's Day themed show.
Do you want to tell them any more?
It's up to you.
Well, it's the first time hearing of it, so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well.
Down or what?
Oh yes, it's well, it is now. It's about to be.
Hey, we're gonna do a thing.
Yeah, we're gonna do a thing. And by the way, you're in it. Neener.
Okay.
So Karen has, tried Match.com with Nancy's help, and damned if she didn't find one. And we've discussed the fact that he may or may not be a serial killer because I know, he makes frittatas. That's a bad sign. And is very nice and has a job and all sorts of stuff. So,
Frittatas.
I know.
Some fava beans.
Fava beans.
Chianti.
Could be. I don't know. But I stipulated with Karen as her bestie that prior to entering into anything serious-ish, he or her, if she decided to go a totally different way for her, would have to pass through the committee, which is me. Because Karen, not that it's a bad thing, and it's really part of her charm, has been known in the past, just once or twice, to make poor choices when it comes to the boys. So
save her from herself.
In an effort, no, it's for me. It's totally selfish. In an effort to avoid getting to say, I told you so, and, months of crying, I'm going to interview this one and make sure he's okay. And he, in a point in his favor, has agreed.
Yeah, I mean, that is
to do it live on our podcast. Recorded.
Seems to be a fan of the show, too, which is a good thing.
Apparently he listens.
Yeah.
Which is how he found out I think he's a serial killer. But hey, I have an open mind, much like Lindsey Graham.
Yeah. Open like a trap door, huh?
Yeah. You'll be fine, Jeff. You'll be fine. I do like you already.
It is funny that we had Chris playing Lindsey Graham in our most recent episode, and then George. It turns out George could do it pretty well too.
Oh yeah. Hey, I think Richard is here.
Okay, so back to Plan A, we have with us a special guest whose work, if you're a fan of the show, you've definitely seen it because he does our artwork. He did our logo, and he does the cartoons that pop up with the episodes. And also on our website. So, Mr. Richard McMurray. Welcome, Rich.
Woo, yay!
Well, hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on your program. Sorry about the computer. Everything's kind of messed up on this end. So, anyway, we're doing it.
That's all right.
It's okay, Richard. It's the feds. We've decided.
This will work fine. And if it makes you more comfortable, you could actually do your end in the nude, if that's, you know.
I am.
The nude.
Totally.
The nude.
Kidding.
So,
If it gets any hotter in here, though, I will not be kidding.
yeah, right. We had 2 people in Texas and 2 in Virginia here for this call. So, Rich, you know, I met you like in high school. Some got to know you much better in college. And you were obviously had been drawing for a long time before that. How did you get started interested in art in general?
Well, I guess I was born artist. You know, when I was 4 years old, to start drawing pictures. But what really got me interested in cartoons was in high school. Some kid laid down a copy of Freak Brother comics, you know, on the table, and I was rather shocked but intrigued at the same time. So from then on, I just started drawing
furry
cartoons,
Freak Brothers have done that to a lot of people. The furry Freak Brothers.
I discovered them. I discovered them through Playboy magazine, which I read for the articles. My dad, God bless him, had a subscription, and yeah, they had an actual like board game, you know, or it was like a drug deal board game that you could tear out and have pieces that moved around the board, things like that. But yes, I remember the Furry Freak Brothers.
You're kidding! Wow, that's pretty fantastic, you know.
Art collectors.
But, yeah, pretty much from then I was really inspired. Then a friend of mine turned me on to Robert Crumb and so on, and you know, got really interested in that. But I've always been looking at cartoons. I used to read Tintin when I was living overseas, and those are pretty well done, and the stories are more interesting than that superhero crap you see here. So anyway, what really got me started
depth, I think.
What's that, Chris?
A little bit more thought and depth, I would say, in the Tintin stuff.
Yeah, a little bit more, yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
That superhero stuff I just can't look at. I just can't watch. It's too ridiculous. Anyway.
It's like if they gave everybody like normal bodies, it would be
right.
So like the bulging bicep. Anyway.
This is something we actually need to address, Richard. It's Lisa here. I was telling Dale before everything, including before hitting record, about when I lived in the Caribbean, I had a weekly humor column, and I had a cartoonist who worked with me who did the art every week. I was telling him because Paul lived on an adjacent island with no road, and you'd have to fax it to him, and then he would get in his boat and take it to the newspaper office when he was finished with it. It was,
oh dear.
Yeah, crazy times. But
no, that's technical difficulties.
It is, I know, and yeah. But Paul drew me for years. And I have to say, Richard, Paul made me look like a character from the movie Heavy Metal, and we need to talk about this. I may not be as hot as I once was, but I do, you know, speaking of bulging, I don't have bulging biceps, but you know, a little.
Well, you're probably just being modest, you know.
I am.
Anyway, I wanted to ask you, how's Monkey doing?
Monkey's insane. That's what he is. I taught him sarcasm too goddamn early. He's killing me. Kid air quotes me.
Yeah, I like Monkey's rap song. I got to tell you that. And I got to tell you, Chris, I've been loving your music. You know, I've been listening to your CD every day on my way to work, and I've listened to 1 and 2. I think my wife and our favorite song. I think Salutin' Comrade Putin is our favorite right now.
You know what? So, I believe that one probably is mine as well, because it seems to. I mean, it seems to work on its own outside the show as well. And, there's a lot of great stuff. Dale gives me great stuff to work with. I rise to that challenge. So it's been a lot of fun and putting all this stuff together. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I'm enjoying putting your stuff on the CDs. Yes.
Yes.
Well, I want to ask you about your marching band, your theme song. Did you write that one as well?
I did as
well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I talked to Dale. I mean, the music sounds great. It sounds fantastic, and I was wondering how that would actually sound as actually a live band, just a little bit different. And I'm
That's
thinking if you could. Boy,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Chris has a new best friend. Look what's just happened.
Synapses are starting to. It would take a lot of people. I would think it would take a lot of people because I mean everything that I write is a different setting, thanks of course to the proliferation of the really good computerized and sampling and playing real
Well,
on a computer, things like that.
Well, sometimes I can't tell whether it's really a full orchestra or not. It's really, the technology is just so advanced these days. I can't tell the difference sometimes.
It actually,
I also like your other piece, the Herbie Hancock piece. I think the one that sounds very Herbie Hancock. That's my second runner-up.
Is that the? Yeah, I think it's. Let me think. It's probably is it the Jazz in Hell kind of thing, or a Hell's Waiting Room?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the one.
Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds to me like you have a
Hell's
live band there. It sounds like a full instrumentation. I don't know whether that's all digital or what, but it sounds great.
I'm trying to think back to what it was. It may have been a drum loop of some kind, but all the rest of it was in fact. Well, it's either sampled real instruments or it's a synthesizer patch. I can't quite remember on that one, but I tried very hard to avoid tonality on that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, no key. Sorry, not, no. In hell there is no key. Yes. In heaven there's no beer. In hell there is no key center.
Okay.
I think that's a sound theological argument right there.
Gosh. In Hades there is no key. That's why we write everything in B.
Well, Rich, actually, I remember back from high school and stuff that you and our mutual friend Gary were big fans of the Bonzo Dog Band. I think it's probably Gary who turned me on to them way back in the day.
Yeah.
That's something else that we share certainly with Chris and Lisa. I don't know if you've heard any of their other stuff, but they were pure genius, sort of pre-Monty Python comedy band.
Lovely.
And ended up doing music for Monty Python movies, like Sir Robin, and so on. I'm seeing all over your music. I'm having little flavors of Bonzo Dog Band here or there. I'm also hearing some elements of Schoolhouse Rock, in some of your songs.
There was a definite Schoolhouse Rock in there one time, and I would say that the Bonzo stuff pervades everything because, me too. About 40 plus years.
Yeah.
Well,
Bonzo freak.
The song "What's in It for Me" could easily be turned into a great animation. Let me tell you that. So
exactly.
Well, if you know any good artists, Rich, who have like lots and lots of free time.
I have 3D animation programs. I would love to animate that sometime.
Find him, get him, do it, make it happen.
Right in there first, folks.
Song,
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Do it.
That sounds like a win-win for sure.
Yes, it does.
Little Betsy.
I have a
Betsy
barn.
D.
Put on a show. Come on, do it.
Are we not men? We are divas.
Yeah.
But Richard, that's one of the cool things about this podcast. I tell our friends, other actors, and really anybody who will listen to me, that lady on the corner, stuff like that, is that it has given us all, and you included, a chance to try shit we never got a chance to do before. And we just figured we'd do it. And it's been really awesome. If you want to try animation, dude, we would love to have you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the a chance to draw the big ugly guy in the White House. I was working for a newspaper for a while doing local political school board stuff, but I was always wanting to do real hardcore political stuff, so you guys have given me the chance to come up with some really funny cartoons and just loving it, just the bad haircut and everything. I'm just having a great time.
Well, I'm absolutely loving the RBG one. The RBG one is just killer.
It is.
She's the best.
That was very nice, and I love the expression on his face when he's getting clobbered by her gavel. And on the show, we pretty much specialize in taking the people that we despise and putting them through as much torture as possible when we have Trump and Pence being shocked regularly and, stuck in,
Toilets.
all kinds of stuff. Toilets.
Yeah,
and
really, it's
having Russian thumb
it's
drives
hard to
up their
keep
butts
up.
or et cetera.
Actually,
Yeah, yeah.
it's kind of slice of life these days. We're not really doing satire anymore. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes we're like gentle and tasteful, and other times we just really
What?
need to get out some aggression.
I've noticed that.
yeah,
Because honestly, the whole reason behind this podcast, at least from what Dale and Lisa tell me, was partially anyway, that if we didn't do this, we would go off the fucking rails, to be honest.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah.
many of us are in therapy, but I'll raise a hand and say,
Yeah.
I'm in therapy. I'm
Yeah.
back in
Oh, yeah.
therapy.
Well,
After,
Absolutely.
Well, I have
January 17,
I have a question for you all, though. This, had let's say the next election we have like a grown-up and an intelligent person in the White House, would you have as much material? You guys wouldn't have as much material. You got a whole shitload of stuff to do,
It's-
like every week. You could
Well,
do. Huge,
we might be able to
multiple
work
episodes.
around it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there'll still be awful people in Washington no matter what.
We have vowed,
but-
though, as a group, or rather, I
Yeah.
have vowed, and I'm going to be mean about it, is that if we somehow, and it's possible, wind up with President Pelosi, that's going to be our last episode. We're just going to say President Pelosi, and then we're all going to laugh for like 20
Laughter
minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Yeah.
And that'll be it.
That's a good way to go out.
Because that would be super. Super.
Yeah. And we have
Thank you. Goodbye.
You guys,
also
you
let-
wouldn't miss the big guy in the White House then. That's
No.
well,
an
you
end
know
of
what?
an era for you guys.
Well, here's the other thing,
Error.
Rich, is that we are even as you speak. Well,
I
as
heard
you
that,
speak,
Chris.
but we are also working on a different project, which could, in the event of the end of this presidency, which will happen one day or another,
Oh, praise Jesus, please.
have a completely different non-political theme involving death and the supernatural and comedy. And
Okay.
Like you did.
Yeah.
like you
Well,
That's-
not so many songs, but definitely.
yeah. There'll be some music. Maybe I don't know about songs. Well, there'll be an occasional song, but it won't be quite the song every episode thing. Like
And it's coming along quite nicely. Dale and I crack ourselves up.
yes. So
We laugh and laugh. It's just
so we
us.
are- yeah. So we are hoping to get that out in the next month or so we can shop it around. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that could definitely
Absolutely.
use some art.
Absolutely.
Definitely use some artwork. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, you're in it. I don't know if we told you that, but you're in
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually we have Angus as a crossover character at some point too. He's
Okay.
he's the only character I think moving the crossover.
I really like Angus. So Angus gets to live.
I'll buy stock in lozenges.
Yeah, I know it's not easy on you. Between that and Rick Perry, your voice can get and
Oh.
Pence's screams.
We may get to bring him back too, although that little boy has
know-
ducked and covered, has he not? He just flat disappeared, sunk into some cowboy boots, ain't coming out.
That's
His
right.
name done popped up a few times over the last few years.
It has been mentioned as an amigo.
Has he not?
Who
Imagine
knew? I do know someone who worked with him over the years because my friend was a bigwig in the A&M system, Texas A&M, whatever. And his candid opinion of Rick Perry was thus: he's dumb as a rock, but he'll do anything you tell him to. So,
Perfect for this administration, though.
it wasn't bad for
that's-
Texas, really, relatively speaking.
I mean, that's kind of the job description for any Trump cabinet member, I think.
Mhm.
Because that fit
He
them all.
is that dumb. That was how that went down. Yes.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
we've had Rick episode before last. We had to make a brief appearance. It was just dumb Rick though, because his glasses are broken.
Yeah,
Well, you never know. People come and go
I
and
know.
reappear.
Mostly because honestly, Richard, we forget what we wrote. And I hardly ever listen to the finished episodes because I can't listen to them in front of the monkey. And I don't have much
Well,
time.
I forget what I draw, and a lot of my cartoons, my nieces couldn't look at. I shouldn't show it to them. Don't feel too bad.
Yeah. It's kind of the way, you know. Well, you said you've been drawing for newspapers too, right?
Yeah, I was a newspaper cartoonist for a local county newspaper for about 5 or 6 years, and they did sometimes political things, not very much, but it's mostly issues with the lunch menus or the Virginia Department of Transportation stuff, really boring stuff, But
but you had a deadline, right?
Yeah,
and a quick one.
Yes, yeah, pretty quick one. So that kind of trained me to do really quick cartoons. And so when Dale has a cartoon come up, I can usually whip them out pretty quick unless I'm in the middle of something. But I wish I had more time to do color for you guys. That'd be a lot better. But we're a little swamped these days. But
straight media experience is so important in this industry, and people don't realize it. It's that ability to do it fast on deadline and to not give a damn. You just got to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
When you're not, when it's more of when it's art, it's harder to do that. When it's, I got to get this done because that's a paycheck. You get your confidence grows. Yeah, I got to put out the product. Yeah, but it makes you more confident and I think better. I credit my radio experience with a lot of my success because you learn how to do it.
All of you people have been in the profession for a long time. Let me ask you something. I'm a little curious about this. How do you? When you make your music, are you sending files across the country as sound files or sound bites, or are you all there in one studio when you do this music, your songs?
Everything is done remotely.
Yeah. Chris came here the one time I had to sing. He came here, but that was really for fried ribs, and he regretted trying to help me sing. And so it's a very long session, and it did not. Yeah. I'm a trooper, though.
But literally, I mean, even though, Chris and Lisa are in the same state, they're, we're saying 2 hours apart, and everyone else is, California, Oregon, Alabama, North Carolina, Virginia. So it's all done remotely. I mean, Chris will record like a basic track so that people have something to sing, and a guide vocal usually, which is always fun.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Sing the women's parts, and everyone records their vocals and sends them to Chris. He throws them all together amazingly, and it's accordion. Yeah,
well, that's fantastic. Yeah,
it's a treat.
Sounds fantastic.
It really is.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So
Thank
Rich,
you.
That's wonderful. And Rich, so you are also, in addition to the wonderful cartooning, you actually do like painting on canvas and stuff like that. And you have an art show coming up at some point, right?
Yeah. You talking about an art show coming up?
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go down to Florida. There's a Miami show there, so it's an outdoor thing, and I'm going to haul a bunch of artwork down there and set it up. Try to sell my stuff and see if I can get anything. So anyway, that's sort of like what's been taking up most of my time. When I say I don't have time to draw, I'm just really getting these pictures ready. So, but now I've gotten most of that over. So, I have more time to draw now. So, anyway.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'll try to give you a little more notice on some of these. I'm so glad we got an RPG one for this episode.
Did you mention that you're going to have another album coming out, number 3, BS, the Resistance?
At some point this year,
eventually, I suppose.
Yeah. We're building up songs. We have probably 6 or 7 or something that haven't been on the albums yet. So once we get to sort of a critical mass, then I'm assuming we will do another one. Yes.
It'll be easier to do when people buy them and they're not
going to bsdr.bandcamp.com and either buy the download or get the physical CD.
Yeah.
Which has the fabulous artwork from
booklet and everything.
Our guests. Yes, right. All kinds of little notes about what the hell were we thinking when we wrote this, and
who knows that? You know that? I don't know that.
Every time
get out of my head, Dale.
Says how great digital media is, and how outdated dinosaur physical media is, and all that. I'm not the one that originally said this, but I totally agree with this. You can't smell a download.
That's right.
Or separate seeds and stems on when you don't have a booklet, not on an MP3. You can never do that.
Great minds, Lisa.
Yes.
I was about to say the same thing. You cannot clean your dope on a download. Yes.
No, on an MP3.
I've never done drugs, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, right.
I listen to records.
But anyway, Richard, I had a question on.
Well, let me tell you about fold-out albums, my friend.
All right. Yes,
Dark Side of the Moon. I get it.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Or anything
Chris
by
had a
my new
Chris, you had a
favorite question. Yeah, my new favorite band, Gong. Okay. I was wondering how you came to settle on the style that you're using for the R's and other illustrations of the very many small lines, very thin lines for shading, rather than using, like a solid gray or gradation.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That kind of
Well,
thing.
yeah, absolutely. I'll answer that without reading Zap Comics.
Oh, okay.
All those guys did shading. Gilbert Shelton, Robert Crumb, I think Esquay Wilson, Spain Rodriguez. Most cartoons like you see in the newspaper, like Bazooka Joe, they're just like one, just straight colors. There's no shading, and it's little. But for some reason, that group liked to do a lot of shading, and I was very inspired by that. And of course, it takes a little longer to draw these things. But then again, you get a little, get more depth. And then
yes.
I guess the other thing was looking at cartoons by the British artist Hogarth, who was an 18th century cartoonist. And, you look at the stuff you learn and you sort of copy and you learn that way. So they are a little time consuming, but, I've kind of got used to that style.
Yeah.
I like it.
I never read Zap Comics. I'm familiar with Crumb, but when I see those, the first thing my brain goes to is Hirschfeld.
Oh, Hirschfeld. Wow.
Hirschfeld.
Yeah.
Yes, I know his
Hirschfeld.
wonderful
Great.
caricatures. On all the postage stamps and TV guides and, and all that.
Oh, yeah.
How to capture the essence, the absolute essence of whether it's Jack Benny or Judy Garland or Groucho Marx or whatever it is. The Beatles, for crying out loud.
Yeah, well, Hirschfeld could draw with a few very simple lines, just a line or two, capture it much better than any other artist. He's a genius. Oh, the other inspiration was, you ever heard of Mort Drucker? You ever read Mad Magazine?
I was just going to bring him up, Mort Drucker. Yes, from Mad Magazine.
Mort Drucker.
Okay.
His caricatures look more like people than they did. Yeah.
There's only one Mort Drucker, and if I could draw half as good as this guy. Oh, is he? Wow.
I think so. He might have a website. Yeah. And
I'll have to check that out.
Is he still around?
Sure. I believe he might be. I think I can't remember if him and Jack Davis were the two guys at Mad that were the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Jack Davis with all the album covers and everything, and
yep.
Yeah. I know.
Dudes, I gotta duck out. I got mom shit coming up.
Mom shit to do with a monkey.
Yeah, the monkey.
Okay.
Hey, it's a monkey.
But Richard, thank you so much for playing with us, both on this recording and in real life and with your artwork. We really appreciate it. It's nice to meet you, and I like your work very much.
Likewise, it's good to meet you guys. I love your work too. Can I join another one of your podcasts here?
Oh, good heavens. Absolutely. Less work for us. Join in.
I'd like to get this microphone working. It's just kind of fucked up right now, but I'd like to.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
The boys will talk you through that. The boys will talk you through.
We will get you some technical assistance for sure. So we can.
Yeah, let's do that. And I know I get my ugly face on there too. So
it might actually be a really good idea to do that, since when you left the first time and Chris said, I don't know, might as well stop recording. I said, yeah, that's a great idea. Well, Chris remembered to start recording, and I did not until only fairly recently. Okay. Meaning I have now told the Paul Borghi rowing the artwork over to the other island story twice without it being recorded.
Yay.
So I'm not going to do it again, dear listener, now that I'm finally in the conversation.
He was a guy, and he drew stuff, and he put it on a boat.
It was really funny. It was kind of funny, but anyway,
Well, you should've been there. You should've been
yeah,
there.
it's totally cool. Anyway, I do really have to go, but I love you all, and it was lovely to meet you, and I can't wait to do more, and let's just resist and rock on. Okay.
Resist the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Well,
That
include
works.
me next time. I'd love to join you guys again, and we'll have a better speaker.
You don't have to leave. You guys can keep talking. I just got to go. Keep talking.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
Talk to you later.
See you, Lisa.
Nice to meet you, Lisa.
Nice to meet you.
Cool. And we'll also be
And
throwing
then
in the
number 3.
outtakes from the previous commercial, for the previous episode. which, in the
Outtakes?
process of mixing. Yes.
Outtakes? You mean we don't record without stopping and laughing our asses off?
Oh, I'm
Oh.
shattering all those illusions.
Oh, well, okay then.
And now, as promised, here are the outtakes from our most recent episode, The Songbook of Ruth.
Okay,
Recording.
I'm readying myself. I don't know about you all, but I am preparing myself.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Why cannot I see the thing? Where the scripts are?
Ready, Vera? Okay. Ready, Ruth? Okay. Ready, Angus? Angus? Angus! Fuck off, Dave!
You're in line 14. You're so busy calling commando, you can't keep up with your lines.
Yeah, spot on! Oh, that sucked. I got to do that again.
Twat waffle.
The burning peat has gotten in my ears. Sorry.
Well, it's just the miracle thing. Well, it's just the miracle of ancient chemistry, Angus.
In our last episode of Pièce de Résistance,
Sometimes that alliteration is difficult, yes?
I do need a comma, not even an Oxford one. We'll keep it buttoned down in our Oxford comma. In our last
We can pick up his walla. It's just walla.
Beach walla, make me.
ladies! I do not know what are we doing.
Are we... Is that where
My
we're going
Pushkin's balls, what have you done to my dinosaur?
from? Lululul.
I think so, yeah. Is there any possible way you could stop with this lulling? This is driving me crazy. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
Oh, Dave, that's me!
Vera,
Holy crap!
hurry it up.
Oh, my! Did we step on your line, Yevgeny?
My bad.
Ooh! Does that mean it's a long story?
Yes.
He seems a bit sensitive. Oh, sorry, that's your line.
He seems a little bit. Yes, he seems it. Well, it is, dear. But you know,
Lady.
he seems
that
a
Jerry
bit
Lewis?
sensitive.
I never thought we'd be... Meh.
Look, no worries. RGB is, pretty important.
RBG.
Red, green, and blue.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Ah, shit.
RBG is a
Not
monitor.
Ruth Gator Binsburg.
Ruth Gator Binsburg, she's a gator now.
Roy G. Biv.
Angus sings,
Buckets.
and then dreamily maybe some
Buckets.
bagpipes.
Keep
Now,
it
if
in your
we're
I'm going to give you a
Scotland, Vera-
wild on 12. I screwed up.
Sometimes there's birds or there's squirrels, and they have to protect us.
birds suddenly appear every time you want.
Mommy says I need better aim.
Send someone to catch us. We're in Saskatchewan.
I like the wee too.
It's so juvenile. It's so funny and juvenile.
So juvenile. When you eat a lot of chili and your poop splashes onto your willy, diarrhea.
I hear a song. Okay.
Karen, you appear to be frozen or deep in thought.
Oh, keep going.
Are you
It could be
that
me.
true. He's so
Hold
nice.
on a second. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Golly.
It's a lot of words there, Ben.
that one more time.
Human.
So I says to her, I says, use the words, Ben, use your words.
The worst. I'm working on it. If you must know, I am headed into the den of evil to meet with the false
Just grab
prophet,
onto the god
Miss-
snake, baby, and hold on tight.
What's more, with feeling.
Feelers, nothing more than feelers.
Just make one god snake.
I'm a spying snake for the Lord.
Bear the fangs of the Lord right into your face.
The venom of salvation.
Put your hands up, but snakes don't have hands.
Yes, Godsnake is a great metal band name.
Godsnake, indeed, indeed.
Oh, thank you, guys.
You sing everything like this.
Oh, her little endorphins are going.
I got a Godsnake for you. I got you right here.
Oh.
It's like winning at skee ball.
I knew Godsnake was good, but I hadn't had it yelled at me yet, so...
He said he was a Godsnake.
Better order some T-shirts.
It's like the worst interview of all time. Trump Nixon.
That's totally genius. And you know, that's my middle name. It's what the J stands for. I'm going to get my own plumbers. He literally said that to somebody.
That's what the J stands for. Genius.
Donald
You're
J. Trump,
wicked smart.
I will go get myself some water.
What do you think? It's
then
like
I will come back and talk to the president.
Genius?
Yeah, that's not far enough
Supposed to say
down into
total
the
genius.
wagon rut for Lindsay to grovel for me.
Yeah, because that's how
Still not hearing
he
total
has
genius.
gone to speaking now
Nah,
with that
that's
kind
enough for now.
of up and down.
Don't get him
I laughed.
riled.
So-
He is not going
I can't understand why you
Not
don't
gonna
believe
take
that
it
this is the
anymore.
finest
Gonna
speech that
end
any
up in a
president has ever
Smithsonian.
given. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Lindsey
God.
Graham. Fuck you, Lindsey Graham.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Oh, it's Chocolate Tuesday again.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Will the South Carolina
Frank.
sycophant be able to stomach his latest...
That's nasty.
You had to slip that in there, didn't you?
Of course.
Thank you, Dale.
My pleasure.
My favorite, the Second Amendment.
Hang on, sorry. Lost it there.
One nation
My bad.
under
I was
God,
scrolling back.
invisible, and I always wondered about
right.
that part. I mean, I can see just fine.
Senator Graham is here, sir.
Oh, it can see us. I can see us just fine. Got it.
Yes. A man of your gifts should have no trouble convincing a cabinet full of corrupt mediocrities. Why did I want to say mediocrites? Let me start that.
Isn't that what comes down from the sky in a flaming ball, the meteorites?
The Lord has also given us tools so that we
It's some demon crats getting into your head. That's what it is. It's them demon crats.
A little old lady realtor at a party stopped me and went, Lisa, you just should come see this art. It reminds me of you. It's so free-spirited.
If by free-spirited you mean batshit insane,
Texan for
yes,
bless her heart.
I agree.
Is that
Bless
Junior
her
League for
heart.
crazy? And she went, yes, it is. Come on.
Okay, I totally buy that.
I do. I like that quite a
Now,
lot. Thank
do
you.
I turn this off like
Or
this?
shit. I mean, I think they made up all the
I
words
don't-
on this one. I'm leaving.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Hey!
It's funny, Rich, because we were talking about doing a live show, which is really hard because we're all spread out over the country. But yeah, it was so incredibly ambitious to try to make that happen live and do a live mix.
Oh, they used to
sound
do a show
effects
in
and all
DC called You ever heard of Hexagon?
I think so.
It was a political showcase, but it was really bad. Just lousy music. I look at what you're doing, very similar to that, but maybe 10 times the quality. Yeah, a live show, stage show. Everyone I know who I play it to said, "Wow, this would make a great showcase." Sort of a small theater or something. And wow, you could do that. That would be great. But
Any venture capitalists listening and Broadway producer wannabes
can find out our little show. If you want the next Randy
listen,
Rainbow, look at us.
I would create the background for you if you do a stage show. I do the background.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That would be fantastic. Well, one thing we might do when the weather warms up some, we have sort of a standing invitation to the folks that do the Kremlin Annex protests in front of the White House on Lafayette Park. So they've been doing that literally like every night since I think the Helsinki summit, and it was like impeach them now, and they've got guest artists that come. Some they've got rappers, singers, all kinds of folks. And my idea is that we get me and Chris and maybe like Nancy Macklemore up, and we could perform several songs from the show, and
I know Lori wants to do more
entertain
singing, so we get her out. If we can get her from
sure.
California, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
whoever. We can get George to come out. Oh, my God.
Yeah. I think it would be a whole lot of fun. Yeah, George is down in Charlotte. He did some of, I think, your favorite songs. He did the Thanks But No Thanks, and there's also the
George
Devil.
Washington.
Yeah.
The third.
Great.
That would also make a great animation. Thanks but no thanks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A little history lesson there. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That had everything, including the kitchen cabinet from Chris.
Literally. And when they say literally, I don't mean figuratively, literally, internet literally. I mean literally a kitchen cabinet.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. That was great.
You know, I haven't put anything in here yet. It sounds awfully good. Put a microphone in it.
Yeah.
Inspiration coming from anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crazy.
We do what we can with what we have, and as quickly as possible.
And as cheaply as possible.
As cheaply as possible too. Yes.
Yes.
But with Rich, with your help, like evangelizing our CD, you know, we'll get easily, you know,
2 more sales.
Yeah, exactly. You know, maybe even 10 more sales. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm so glad you're enjoying the music, and you know that you get to see your own artwork as part of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and on the website too. I've seen those pictures on the website as well. Look, they look great. Thanks for posting them. I really enjoy doing this stuff. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do when this guy's out of office, though. I mean, what material will they be? Yeah, no, it'll be normal and uninteresting, but probably a better world, you know.
That'll be the definition of bittersweet.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wait, no more Trump. But then again, what are the odds that he's actually going to just like disappear from public life after he's out? I mean,
not with the cult in force.
No.
Not with the big cult in force.
He'll still have a big microphone.
I think even after, let's say he does an 8th term, you know, whatever, he'll still be mouthing off, you know. He'll still be shooting his mouth off, you know.
And he'll probably be in the cabinet for President Ivanka, too, or Don Jr.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, what a depressing thought. Okay.
Well, we all know that Trump is a really big cult. I mean, sorry.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, I went there.
So, well, listen, this has been fun, and we will definitely, there will be a sequel at some point once we get all the other technical things worked out. And appreciate your time, Rich, and your talents. And yeah, we'll be back soon.
More drawings and more sounds and more things. I mean, we got the media. Well, what media haven't we covered? We got the podcast, we got the albums and the songs, we got the drawings and
interpretive dance.
Oh, that's
interpretive dance.
That's what we do with the Kremlin Annex.
Okay.
We play the album and we go.
That could work.
Yeah. A day in the life of one of Trump's brain cells.
Sort of like a Jules Pfeiffer thing, you know.
Or Bill Kirchenbauer. I don't know if you heard of him or not. But anyway.
Good stuff.
Thank you for coming on, Rich. We appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us, Chris.
Well, Chris and Dale, I love being on your show, and let me know if you'd like me to come on again. I'd love to chat with you. And
you betcha.
Of course, get a better sound system next time on this end. So
I think we'll persevere. Yep. All right, buddy.
We'll bring more of the pieces of artwork up as we're recording so we can talk about them individually and specifically so folks can, like, if they want to, hey, go to the website and go to this page and go to that picture and this we're going to talk about this now. And
well, I'm definitely
interactive.
Yeah.
Well, there's more cartoons on the way, so
cool.
There's more on this end, so we'll keep rolling on that. How about?
All righty, man. Okay. Take care. All right. We will see you all with our next scripted episode on the 5th of February.
5th of February already. Wow.
And then the special Valentine's Day themed bonus episode next time. So that'll be, we're actually planning ahead. This is I don't know, it's kind of blowing my mind here.
We're going on this thing almost 2 years, can you believe?
Yeah,
almost 2 years.
April,
Good
April
grief.
2 years.
That's
it'll be crazy. So we'll definitely have a big to-do then. But anyway, all right. Thanks again. And
it's been surreal.
It's been surreal. Appropriately done. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Cheers, everybody.
Bye, resistors.
Good night.